Warning. This program contains strong language, auditory violence, and mental nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to your uncensored home for all things Warcraft. With your hosts, Berzerker and Navox. This is Unshackled Fury.
The Shadowlands are nigh, Uther's dropping the hammer, and your favorite podcast is back once again to carry you through it all. Welcome to episode 74 of the Unshackled Fury podcast, your uncensored home for all things Warcraft. I'm your host, Berzerker, with my Yeti Rambler at the ready, and with me as always is the Iron Man to my war machine. He is Navox. Welcome back again, sir.
Welcome. Oh God, I fucked that one up right out the gate. I'm just not even I'm not even there.
I tried to
dude.
give
Like,
you
right
one you know this time.
That was awesome, and I knew that one. That was great. I'm like, welcome. What the fuck am I saying welcome for? I'm like,
nope,
yeah,
no soap opera references. I'm just giving you just
boom,
straight comics.
There you go.
Oh.
Marvel superheroes. It's great. You know,
Yeah.
that would have been perfect. But it's been a, that's actually we had a really unfortunate news event regarding Marvel this past week.
Yes.
You know, with Chadwick Boseman.
Awful.
That's awful.
Awful.
It is absolutely awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I was actually shocked when I read that because he's my age, and you know, that is colon cancer is absolutely terrifying to me because I've been, I have a family history of there's digestive issues in my family, on my side of the family. So I've been dealing with colonoscopies and things like those type of procedures since I was 20 years old.
That's good to get them done.
So,
I mean, this is
it's
one of those things.
sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad, and it was shocking. So
I couldn't even believe it when the thing popped up on my phone. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, it's your brain just doesn't register because like, oh, somebody from the cast died. Like, oh, that must be. Wait, what? Huh?
43 is far too young.
God.
He would have been 44 in November. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very sad, and I said something privately to somebody about this, which I later saw somebody post on Twitter near word for word, strangely enough, for the comment that I had made, and so I retweeted it, which was, as a middle-aged white guy, I can't understand what he means to our black community.
No.
Right? Like,
no.
I can't understand. But I know how I feel, so I can't imagine how those folks feel. And it's a hell of a loss. He was a hell of a dude, and obviously his body of work will be revered until the end of time. And it's tragic.
Let's talk about while he was sick, he was filming these movies.
Yeah.
And he was still gaining weight and losing weight based on his role. God. So for somebody to go through what he was going through and doing all that on top of it,
yeah, that's can't top that. That is unbelievable, and obviously it's terrible tragedy for so many people, and you honor his work and you honor his legacy and try to carry forward and do your best. As somebody who was known for being very conscious of social issues and of being just a good human being, it's a reminder to do the same. Back in the world of Warcraft, coming back now. It's been a couple weeks since we've been here, and now, Nav, I have a bone to pick with you.
All right.
Last I heard, you had retired from raiding.
I did retire
now,
from raiding.
the most lastest that I heard is that you're back.
I am back.
What
yes.
the hell happened?
I will be back raiding in Shadowlands, and you know, a lot of it. Honestly, I miss raiding with my team members. I miss raiding with them. I wasn't happy with Nyalotha, and that strained, that put a strain on my love for the game and my attitude towards the game. And you can hear it if you go back to the past podcasts. I just wasn't really I gun for this game all the time. Like I am pumped for this game all the time. But when something really sours the pot for me, it's just like I have the roller coaster of love and hate with this game. So when something has me down, I'm just like, no, this is just not fun. But going into Shadowlands, I was like, I miss raiding with these guys, and they're only raiding Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they do an optional raid on Sunday, which it's not required. It's just you show up if you want to do it. But in the world that we live in right now, there's I'm playing Warcraft anyway in the evenings anyway, so we're not going out, we're not hanging out with people. It's just a safe environment for us in our cozy house here, and we just and I'm just gonna enjoy doing that. And I'm actually going to start off tanking this tier because we're getting a raid 2 weeks right out of the gate. God. We're getting a raid 2 weeks right out of the gate of this game. 2 weeks and we're in the first raid. So our main tank, Lonnie, may be away for that, so she had asked if one of us would fill in. I said, yep, absolutely, not a problem. I'm gonna fill in. I already know the path that I'm going. Like I'm gonna go Kyrian right off the bat because of the spear, and it'll help. It's easy for me to swap between Prot and Fury or whatever like that. So it's I usually always go Prot right out of the gate when I'm done leveling because it's just easier to get dungeon groups and easier to push groups through. Like
true.
you know what you do with your group. You're like, okay, look,
move,
we got
fools.
Everybody's online at this time, and we have 2 tanks, but now we've got like 4 or 5 people that can just fill the role it takes to take people through and get up here. But I'm really looking forward to that, and I already asked for my 2 weeks off when I found out that the release date. Yeah, when I found out that the release date, because I requested 2 weeks off. I'm actually going on vacation a week from now. And it was just regular vacation, like a staycation. Like, what am I going to do? Go somewhere? We're not going anywhere. So I'm just going to stay home and turn off all the devices, set my out of office thing. And I told my boss, listen, if you call me, I might pick up the phone. But, it's like if anybody else calls me, it's just going right to voicemail. But other than that, again, I've been, cleaning out all of my bags still. It's like a daily chore. Yeah, I gotta send Slick Rock a bunch of. I'm sending Slick Rock a bunch of stuff. So Slick, if you're listening, get ready for about 200 left sharks in the mail. No.
He's a profit machine. He'll find a way to sell that shit.
But other than that, I've been working on my daily grind for the Time Lost Gary Shoulders, and I also recently took up the boring hobby of camping Rust Feather every day on all of my 120 tunes to try to get that gnomish looking wheel thing that it drops. And I'm also working on beta. I've been doing some stuff in beta. I logged into beta.
I've seen.
I'm working on another character copy, and after going through after going through that intro quest line, I am ready for the next expansion after Shadowlands already, man.
You're already burnt out.
I'm already burnt out.
I told you this is what happens every time. Every time. This was why I can't do it. This is I used to be just like you.
I'm just like, I'm gonna jump in there in another month. I'm gonna be in there, and I'm just gonna be like, oh, I've seen all this. So the only thing I'm missing out on are the cutscenes so far. So that's good. But
yeah,
I got to read all the quest text, which is good because
it might change.
I don't think it's gonna change that much. I mean, because going through when I get in there on
you never know
7 p.m. we go live, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and it's just going to be a mad rush because you want to be ahead of the initial rush of people, but you don't want to be too far behind because then it helps to be right there, killing the big group mobs together and things like that. So It'll be fun. It's always fun towards in the beginning of an expansion because everybody's just online. The server feels full again, and
if it's not crashing.
Which, the past 2 expansion releases were pretty damn smooth, and I think they've all been smooth even since Warlords. Like, Warlords was good. I didn't really expect
Warlords was terrible.
I didn't have a lot of downtime.
That's when they had all the DDoS shit going on, and like stuff was down. And
see, I was ahead of the zones that were having that problem. That's why I go and I just
hammered.
But Battle for Azeroth was good. So. But anyway, how about you? Have you been doing anything fun in a while?
Well, my raid team and I finally got our our Nyalotha achievement, meta achievement done. So we got our
the worm
mount.
The worm mount, nice.
It's fucking
nice.
Hideous.
Yeah, it is. I didn't go for it.
Ooh, it's like I have to pardon the expression of pink sock. It looks like an angry toothed butthole that has leapt outside of its domain, and it has suckers and barbs, and it's really unnerving. Like, people talk about all this stuff about prestige, right? You get something, you achieve something in the game, and you get something as a reward, and so people look at that and they go, ooh, prestigious. They got that thing. You will never know that I got that unless you look at my achievements, because I'm never riding that thing again. Other than the one time that we rode it to take a group picture after it happened, because it's so ugly and really unnerving, and I don't want to ride around on it.
But there's some, people out there who really like that stuff.
Oh yeah,
so
and more power to them. Good for them.
Butthole mount with teeth.
Yeah. Enjoy your toothed butthole mount. I mean, I don't want any part of it. And that's one of those things too, where I'm like, I'm doing the achievement because I want to do it with my team, and like it's hey, we did the thing, right? But I was not motivated by the reward at all.
Yeah,
at all. So that was kind of nice to get that out of the way. We had one that we got hung up on. It was the carapace. That's the second to last fight, right? Where you have to kill all of the little wall nodules, the ones that are on the walls, not the floor, but the ones on the walls.
Wow!
You have to kill all of them within, I think, 15 seconds of each other.
Oh wow! So, or it's a fail and you have to start over.
Yep. So you
fuck that noise, Jesus!
I don't know how you're gonna solo it. I'll tell you that. We did it because we could do it now, but I don't know how you're gonna do it in the future. So we split up our teams, and you had to go down, you had to knock those things down to a certain percentage, and you had to keep people alive, and you're kind of delaying the fight to some extent, but it's trying to get them down low enough, but you don't have these ticks blowing off, and suddenly one of these things dies, or somebody's AOE gets a little sideways, and we wasted a whole night just doing it. Couldn't get it down. We're only doing one night a week right now, and so then it was this past week, and we got it pretty quickly this time, which was nice. We also had a couple more people,
good.
So having more people definitely helps on that particular achievement. And then the final N'Zoth one was actually pretty easy. So those are the...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good. Oh, that's good.
Everybody has to be going insane at the same time.
Oh,
so it's that window between when you go insane and when you become mind controlled. So you just kind of have to wait until that very end, and you let that final debuff happen, and then whoever's alive just blow hero, go nuts, hope for the best. So we got that, and that was great. I'm still attempting to level my paladin, but goddammit, I'm just not finding the time. I was planning on doing it this weekend, but then the honey-do list got in the way, and things are super busy. We've had fires galore. We've already been stuck inside because of coronavirus. Now we're stuck inside. We can't even go out in our own yard because there's ash falling like snow. It's unbelievable.
God.
So
yeah, you guys need a good hurricane. Unfortunately, I don't wish that on anybody.
At this rate, you
California
never know.
could use it, honestly.
Well, the rains will come soon enough, and they're getting some containment. But I mean, that's kind of the reality here. Is you get fires and stuff happens, and we'll see.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot more survival mechanics lately than it has been game time. So, but we're working on it. We're getting there. So, for our show for this week, back here on Unshackled Fury, we are going to debut a new segment this week that we call "Don't Be That Guy." I want to thank number one super fan, show listener Rommel for this great idea, born from Nav your live reading of some of the wonderful forum comments out there that touch on a variety of issues across Blizzard and World of Warcraft issues. And we have one this week that is particularly spicy and topical. And why don't you tell our fine listeners what it's about and give them a little dose of the guy that they do not want to be.
I said, bitch. You said that though, right? Oh my God. So basically, Twitter and the whole, WoW fandom blew up this past week because, there was a decision made to remove one of the lines from one of the Cataclysm quest lines from Garrosh. And Garrosh calls Sylvanas a bitch, basically. And that's what it was. And, Steve T-Uther posted out there on Twitter. This came out after the story came out. So the story came out first on Wowhead, I believe, right? Is that how this...
My understanding is that this came to the attention of Wowhead. I'm sure some other people saw it, but the Wowhead article was the first that I had seen. And then Steve T-Uther, who is story honcho for Warcraft, responded to it on Twitter.
So he said, allow me to explain the decision. A team member sent feedback that he enjoyed playing the game with his kid, but when they encountered Garrosh's line, it stuck out from other language in the game. Several of us discussed the feedback and decided to make a change. I can understand that many people liked the scene as it was. It was a memorable line of VO, no question. But at the end of the day, we felt we gained more from removing it than keeping it. Needless to say, you are free to disagree. Whatever your feelings, please understand there was no sinister motivation behind the change. It was just people. Real, honest to goodness, human beings trying to make the game a little better for future generations. So, Zerker, this was well received by everybody. On to the next topic. I mean, no.
Why are we talking about this?
No, really. It set the forums and Twitter on fire. So much that I pretty much avoided, I think you and I had a discussion about it, and then I just kind of avoided it for the whole week. Then I decided to go out to the WoW forums.
Oh, God.
And, I find... So, there was someone out there on the WoW forums posting as a shaman. And this is exactly what I expected from the forums. Come on, Blizzard. This is ridiculous. Are we seriously censoring one of the high points of Cataclysm questing?
High points.
What T-Uther... High points. Like, that was the high point of
That was a fucking high point, which I never played or saw.
That was it. Just the VO line. That was the high point right there. Hey, remember that Firelands raid? Fuck that. The VO line. That was it. So anyway, what T-Uther said here was an unacceptable statement. Restore Garrosh's voice line. This new slant on storytelling has gotten old. Where the silliest things are censored while dark stories are churned out endlessly. You'll let Arthas purge an entire city, murdering people who trusted him. You'll let him murder his father and turn an entire country into zombies. You'll let parents be slaughtered in front of their children in Brennadum. You'll let hundreds of night elves and animals burn alive helplessly. You'll let the road to the dark portal spanning miles be paved with Draenei skulls. You'll let Sylvanas send thousands to the Maw, your unsettled version of hell. So if you're willing to tell these evil stories, why do you choose to cower from this word? If you can't stomach Garrosh's calling Sylvanas exactly what she is, then this game isn't for you. Garrosh's words don't convey as much venom without it. Wowhead ran an article on the censorship today. Something very telling is that much like in this thread, the overwhelming majority is against the change. The overwhelming majority, which was 80 comments. 80 comments was the overwhelming majority. Rather than let me paraphrase, people who care should read the Twitter posts themselves. Instead, I'm going to go right to my response. I mean, this was his whole response this whole time. While I'm sorry that the team member's kid was exposed to unwanted foul language, this game is rated T for teen. Perhaps better than any of us, a member of WoW's team should know that there are far harsher things in this game than the B word. Why didn't you just write it out there, Turbo?
Yeah, tough guy.
This game is not E for everyone. There are risks attached to allowing a younger child play these games. I would reiterate that the child will encounter far harsher things than the B word. The road to the Dark Portal was paved with, again, he just kept reiterating, the road to the Dark Portal was paved with thousands of Draenei skulls, and Sylvanas has damned many innocents to the maw. This retroactive change is a mirror of their current writing philosophy, where they're willing to cut out harmless words, but still talk about war atrocities. I think it's a stupid stance. Respectfully, I stand by my opinion. Please restore the voice line.
With all due respect, and I said with all due respect, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, of all the things to get outraged about, I mean, it just, like, so honestly, so here's the thing. If you asked me at the time that this change exploded across the internet, Twitterverse, etc., where we saw a very diverse split of, people's opinions here, I was on the sidelines of, this really isn't a big deal and it didn't bother me either way. I don't have an opinion one way or another. The word doesn't bother me. However, I'm a 44-year-old adult. I grew up in a different time, and I had very good role models in my life. I knew not to call women bitches to get a point across. That's something. So the bottom line is, this is not your game. It's not my game. We have a privilege to play the game, but in the end, this is what you signed up for. We're going to continue to see changes in language used in everything, and it's for the better. An example right off the top of my head, in what I do, there are things that we set up in the past that we refer to as blacklists and whitelists. When you didn't want something coming in, you blacklisted it. When you wanted to allow something in, you whitelisted it. That has now changed to being called block lists and allow lists. So there's going to be a change in people's vocabulary as as we try to get rid of these little microaggressions that are out there. But what I did want to say was, for every kid and teen that has a parent or guardian that has an open dialogue and can offer guidance on the appropriateness of using a word towards an individual, there's a kid or a teen out there that doesn't have anything but that computer monitor, that portal to a very diverse and very still wild west of the internet, where they're bombarded with all sorts of information that they can't really discern what should I do and what shouldn't I do. So as far as we know, we don't have a young audience that listens to our podcast, but I was trying to think of something
I don't think so.
I was trying to think of something real world relatable. And while we're not a political podcast, we saw this recently with a Florida representative straight up calling AOC a fucking bitch in an argument. And these are the type of things that need to change, and it's for Blizzard to make a minor change like this. I'm all for it. It seemed, going back and looking at the video, when you're playing WoW and then somebody drops bitch or something like that out there, the brakes come on and you're like, this doesn't fit the...
It's odd.
It is odd.
It's odd. I mean, you go back and you look at that line as it exists, it does stick out. It's odd.
Yeah.
Like, there are people who are going to disagree, I think, with any change that is made to something that exists in the game. We'll just focus on Warcraft because this could expand. But
yes.
The game is a living, breathing thing, right? Not literally, but figuratively, it is a living, breathing thing that changes and grows, and this rigid adherence to need it to be the same thing forever is misguided.
Oh, absolutely.
And I get it. It's the reason why we have WoW Classic. It's why you have people that think all these changes are terrible that have nothing to do with this one, but just other changes of, well, it's been around all this time. Why are you changing it now? They felt it was appropriate to change it.
Yep.
Okay. I don't disagree. It is odd. There are only a couple of times that I'm aware of that particular word is used, and that was one instance in which they're changing it. There's another in Shadowfang Keep, which apparently they're also changing. There are other uses of that to describe Sylvanas in other media. Warcraft 3. There's a comic where there's one, and I think there's a book where there's another. I would argue that Warcraft 3, and we'll get into something related to this later, it is a little bit more adult than World of Warcraft. So I don't think that that's an apples to apples comparison. Books, same thing. It's a different level of media. It's a different focus when you're looking at who you're writing those books for. So I don't think that that's a comparison that's equal either. The comics are a little tricky. I think there may be an argument there that they could have done some things differently. But it's their game. If they want to go back and change this, one, they have every right to, and they don't have to explain jack shit. And we've said this on this show before. They could change anything they wanted to. They could take out all of Outland and put in Hello Kitty Island and say, fuck you players, this is what we're doing. And that's the end of the story. They don't have to explain anything. I think that Steve T-Uther trying to come in and give some insight into, hey, we had an employee that was playing this with his kid. It was jarring. It didn't quite feel right. Taking a look at this after the fact, maybe we can tone this down. They literally took out that one word. Okay, does it have the same impact? No, it doesn't have the same impact without that word. Does it still get the point across? Yes. It's one line of text in a much larger dialogue that still ends up the same way. But what you get out of changing that is it's a casual use of this term, which, I think that we collectively are trying to do a better job of how we look at treatment of women in our gaming. And this is something that we talked about with Copperbolt when we had her on last year. We're trying to find ways of being more inclusive, and casually throwing around the word bitch is a problem.
Yeah.
And you see it. Look at the Twitch chats.
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen people defending this privately, and I'm like, I cannot believe that that you're sticking your ass out like this and just completely showing it over this issue.
Yeah.
Like this is not a hill worth dying on. This is a good change.
No.
They should keep working on stuff like this. And we don't have to have some long-winded explanation about it. So, but this guy, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy going out there and telling Blizzard they have to keep the word bitch in the game. Just don't do it. We have other news to discuss, other very important news. We've totally buried the lead on the most important news that we have to talk about this week. So why don't we go ahead and jump into that? So the biggest news, obviously, coming out of this last week, Shadowlands has a release date. We had a hunch that Gamescom might be the time when this announcement would come. You and I talked about a month ago, and we were kind of planning out our shows and when we wanted to do it and what we were going to do. And that was the reason why 2 episodes ago we bumped it a week, because we had a feeling that 2 weeks ago was a good time to strike and then wait for Gamescom this past weekend, and then boom, here it was. Gamescom fires up. And right out of the gate, we get the Bastion cinematic, which we're going to talk about here in a few minutes.
So good.
And
So
they
good.
hit us with the release date. And once again, Navox was right.
Woohoo!
The week
Yeah.
of Halloween.
Yes.
Just like you said.
It's going to be awesome. Great time.
Amazing.
Love playing WoW in the fall. Yes. Yes.
It really does feel right, doesn't it? A release date
Yep.
in the fall. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it's going to feel this year with what's going on, but, you know, falling leaves and sweaters and hot drinks and WoW expansions. It just...
Dude, I have a whole listen. We'll talk about a whole Halloween episode as we get closer to this stuff. But everything's gonna fall in line perfectly, especially with the Headless Horseman thing, because you know we're gonna get every year you do the Headless Horseman, you get the Sword in the Ring. We're gonna sidestep here real quick. Sword in the Ring, definitely gonna be upgrades for you this year in Shadowlands. Anyway, so yeah, let's go back to.
That's exciting. But yeah, I mean, we're
Yes.
gonna get Hallow's End, we're gonna get expansion, it's gonna be spooky, and there's gonna be invasions of zombies, and it's gonna be great. So you were right once again. Let it be known, Navox is tapping in, and this isn't some like secret influencer Amstel Light
No,
post.
we don't
You know what,
have
actually
that type of
I need to make a correction. We are no longer the Amstel Light Table.
Uh-oh.
We are the Bud Light Table.
Oh, but hey, we moved up. That's pretty
we're
good. Okay.
I'm gonna just say, we're the Bud Light Table now. So the Bud Light Table once again, you know, in full effect. Not that being a part of that influenced any of this knowledge whatsoever. It's just Nav.
I'll be happy when we get to the Mick Ultra level, because I love Mick Ultra. I know
Ew.
it sucks, but I love that.
Gross.
I like that stuff, man.
Get out of here. Bud Light Table for life. So we are going to be coming into the Shadowlands for us here in the States. West Coast time, 4 p.m. on Monday, October 26th. And that pretty much will carry all the way over until you get to Paris. Paris has got the midnight release time going into the 27th.
Ooh.
So they get in my opinion, the true release date.
Yeah. No. Yes.
You know,
yeah.
I said it before. I'm going to say it every time. So broken record here, but I miss the old midnight releases. And I know that they were a pain in the ass. And I know you can't do one in the era of COVID. And there's a million logistical reasons why it's stupid and you shouldn't do it. But damn it, I miss it. I miss it.
Wasn't MOP the first one where they didn't do a midnight release? Wasn't MOP the first one they did at 7:00 in the evening? And it's been that way ever since.
That was the first one that I recall where they gave you the option where you could do digital or hard copy. Because I still went to a GameStop to get my collector's edition for that one, and I think that was the last one because everyone since has been shipped to my house. And like I said,
okay.
I know it's not great, and my poor buddy Rommel, who would drive all the way out to where I am from way up in the hills where he lives, and it's like dangerous and stupid for him to be driving at 1 a.m. and then thinking about playing a video game all day. But I don't know. I miss all the hoopla and the bullshit, and you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, those are the times that we're looking at. So it'll be 4 p.m. West, 7 p.m. East on Monday, October 26th. And in case you haven't purchased it yet, there are 4 different versions of the expansion that you can buy. There is the base edition, which is just Shadowlands. You just go into Shadowlands. Mm-hmm. There's the heroic edition, which gives you an additional character boost, and you get the ensorcelled Everworm mount and a transmog set. There is an epic edition, which gives you all of that, plus a pet, a weapon effect, a special Hearthstone, and 30 days of game time. Hey, I mean, it's almost like paying yourself.
Yeah.
And of course, as I've talked about many times, the hardcore collector's edition that's got the book, the art book. So that is coming. And just in case you ordered that, we did get confirmation that they are going to have their retailers shipping those out early.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, big.
you never know. You never. It's a dicey proposition. Sometimes they come late. You're not really sure what's going on. I bought mine directly from Blizzard this time, and there's express shipping, there's regular shipping. You're like, what the fuck does that? Does that mean I'm not gonna get it on? Like, am I gonna get it 2 weeks late because I didn't pay the extra $20? Like, what is it? Well, they're going to be shipping out their CE orders on the 13th of October. That's 2 weeks early. So
yeah,
even with
good.
all the postal service stuff going on and everything else going on out in the world, that should be enough time, I hope, to get all that ready. So we're looking at the 26th of October, 27th, depending on where you are, being the release date. So for you, Nav, timing of the pre-patch. How often? How much time do we usually get? Is it 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks? What's the deal?
So we usually have 4 weeks of pre-patch. So what I'm thinking is, because we've got the other animated short films coming out. September 3rd, Maldraxxus. September 10th is Ardenweld. September 17th is Revendreth. And then at first I thought the pre-patch was going to be October 6th, but then I'm really going to say that I think that we're going to get it on Tuesday the 22nd, which is a week. All those dates that I just gave you, September 3rd, 10th, and 17th, are Thursdays. And then Tuesday is the 22nd. So I think we're going to get our pre-patch on the 22nd. And that'll give everybody enough time to get used to the changes, see the item level changes, feel the power squish of your character, the item level squish, get to play around with all the new character creation stuff. The WoW add-on developers will have enough time to get their stuff all set up and whatnot and updated. So yeah, I'm gonna guess Tuesday the 22nd.
All right, I'm with you. I think that's a good date. It gives them enough time to, I think, work out any major bugs that are going on and kind of get a wider look at how a lot of these systems are going to look once they're live.
Yeah.
And it almost, if they go that long, it gives them more than a month to kind of work on anything they need to prep or last minute stuff they need to get ready for.
And that's the thing, because there's a lot of us in beta playing, and we're playing through the new stuff, but there's still a lot of old stuff that needs to be updated. Like stuff in Stormwind, there's weird stuff you get hung up on when you're trying to walk through portals and things like that. And I think you'll be able to give them feedback on that kind of stuff too. Yeah. So they're going to get once a whole player base gets hit with the new pre-patch stuff, there's all these bugs will come out and they'll be able to fix it real good, quick. So
now for you, looks like Monday evening, that 26th, the 26th, the evening of the 26th is going to be your launch time. You already said you're taking some time off.
Yes, I have 2 weeks off.
You have 2 weeks off. Do you have any sort of release day rituals? Do you have things that you do to get you through like an extended session, or do you plan it out over a couple of days, or do you just kind of jump in for a little bit and then jump out and rest? Like what's your day one through the first week plans, or do you have other rituals that you like to follow?
No. So what I do is every year every time there's a WoW release, I come up with this plan. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to have dinner early. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to get up and then I'm going to play. But since the release is at 7 p.m., I'm going to play at 7 p.m., get logged in, and then I'm going to tell you guys that I'm going to game all night. I'm not going to stop. That's not really what's going to happen. I'm going to play from 7 p.m. till about 11 o'clock till my ass passes out, because now I'm old and I fall asleep.
Oh.
So
you're not going to hit the bump?
So
none of that Florida booger sugar for you?
Here's the thing. So if I drink coffee at night or something like that and I'm wired all night, the next day I'm absolutely useless. And even though I have time off work, I still want to get, workouts in. I still want to do my run. We're doing runs and stuff now, so I just want to get my stuff in. So I think I'm going to take a little bit healthier approach and play from 7. I might even go to midnight, play 7 to midnight, hop into bed, get up in the morning when, my wife's doing work. I'll just sit at my computer because we're in the same office, and I'll just sit here and play all day. And, but I in the past, yes, I would have a big jar of gummy bears or Sour Patch Kids and all the sugary stuff, and I can't do that anymore. I miss, it was fun. I love sugar as much as everybody else, but I just had to cut back on that stuff. But I mean, how about you? I know you've got stuff that you do for this type of stuff. So
and I'm gonna take that week off. It's the first vacation time I've taken this calendar year, 2020. So I figured this is as good a time as any, just to get some time away. So I'm definitely going to take some time off. I have leveled initially with my boy Rommel every expansion since Wrath. And we have typically met up somewhere at some time that's convenient. It kind of depends on when I get my collector's edition. So he might have already started leveling some other tunes, and then we'll get together on our mains and run through for a number of hours. With it starting at 4, I mean, we could go for a long time. I mean, we could get probably a good solid 7-8 hours in that first night if we wanted to. Because like you, it's not like it used to be. And I remember way back when, I think Mott was probably the last time we did this, where got home, loaded it up, and at the time, the house that I was living in, my desk was in a spare bedroom. And so all I did was just go from the desk to the bed right behind me and crash out for a few hours and then get back up, and I'm slamming Code Reds and I'm drinking energy drinks. I mean, I still drink energy drinks, which I shouldn't, but, all of the stimulants, I'll still be hitting some rock stars and doing some things to stay up. And I do have a bag of Sour Patch Kids here on my desk.
It's my weakness.
It takes me about a week to eat the bag, so don't judge too harshly. But yeah, I mean, I'll do some of those things and try to have a dinner that's not too involved, so that way I can just slam it real quick and keep going.
Yeah.
But,
soup.
It's pretty much soup in a can. I mean, I'll just get some Chef Boyardee and just eat it straight out of the
can.
You go. Just fucking, I don't need to heat that up.
No,
get it
pre-cooked. There you go.
It's it's an exciting time. It's like one of our little holidays, and it's something
it is.
that it's something as a gamer, right? That everybody who's really into anything, whether it's God Christ, people that do fantasy football. It's like the fantasy football draft day.
God, the draft is.
I mean, it's its own bonanza, right? Yeah. And no matter what you're into, gaming, sports, even politics, whatever you got, there's always something that's like your holiday, something you get geeked up about, something that just gets you to that next level of excitement. And really, this is one of those things for us. And man, I always look forward to this day, and I like it. Because it's, here's all the new stuff, whatever. But it's about sharing it with my friend. And it's about sharing it with everybody else. And it's that group excitement that really the truest, most crystallized form is at BlizzCon. When I talk to people that it's a very special thing to experience this sort of collective togetherness at BlizzCon. Launch day is kind of that same thing because we're all kind of there together. And it's virtual, but you're feeling that same rush. And so for me, it's making sure that my calendar is clear, that my phone is on, but I'm not taking calls. And, I mean, my office could be burning down. I'm not picking up the phone. It's like I need that. I need to respect that time because it's important to me. But what I'm also doing this year, and this because I have talked with you at length about it, is that I'm looking for some upgrades to my PC this year. And I have been very closely tracking all of the NVIDIA leaks and all of the new info about the 3000 series RTX cards, which the announcement is September 1st. So right about the time this episode is going to air, that announcement should be happening. It's 11 a.m. Pacific time, Tuesday morning on September 1st. I've got it in my phone. I'm watching the damn thing live. Just so I can see what the story is, and then all the other cards from all the other manufacturers are going to be announced like later that day. So I know, for instance, I've had 2 980 Ti's running an SLI for almost 5 years now, and they've done great. They've done great, but it's starting to be a problem where, SLI is not dead, but it's not supported by many things anymore. Not WoW. And, I built it, it's funny, I built it around Witcher 3, which I didn't even play until this year. So I wanted to be able to run it at max settings. And so
I gotcha.
I don't know. Long story, but it's time. It's time. We got Shadowlands, we got Cyberpunk. Really, Cyberpunk is what's driving a lot of this. We have all of these other games coming out, and the cards are getting too hot. Frame rate's starting to suffer. Like, you could start seeing the future here. So I'm finally going to upgrade a card. I'm going to buy something probably stupid, and upgrade the 2 cards to just 1. You introduced me to the concept of the M.2 gumstick looking hard drive deal.
Oh, I love that thing. Yes.
Which my motherboard can take one, and I never even knew this until you told me, to show you how computer illiterate I am. So I'm probably going to hook up one of those too.
Heck yeah, put WoW on that.
Yeah.
You'd be flying.
Yeah.
No load time.
So we're probably going to do that. And I've got to change out some fluid in here, because I do have it is liquid cooled on my CPU. So we gotta take care of some business there. We're gonna dust it. We're gonna get all the dust out of the radiator, and I've already started kind of working on that. We're gonna clean it all up and maybe button a few other things up. So this is also kind of priming me to get my PC back in top shape, and hopefully get another 5 years out of this thing before I do something stupid, buy another giant spaceship looking thing that runs off of Virgin Sherpa tears or something. It's ridiculous. So that's what I'm doing. But really excited. We finally have a release date, October 26th, 27th, depending on where you are. And I know that we're going to be seeing everybody there along with us. And so the other kind of major thing that we had to talk about today, which came before the release date at Gamescom, was the Afterlives Bastion cinematic that was released. This is in a similar artistic style as the Warbringer shorts and the Lords of War shorts that we saw back in Warlords, and whatever the one it was in Legion with the Illidari, and I fucking can't remember what it is, and I'm sure someone will comment and tell me, and thank you.
Please, yes, absolutely. At _Fury.
Yep. Let me know. Or comment on the SoundCloud page, as somebody did about the last episode when I couldn't remember the essence, and they reminded me of it, and thank you for that. We got this short. It was directed by Taron Gregory, which this was, by his own admission, the first time that he has directed something like this, which was not a cinematic in-game. And holy shit, did this thing hit so many lore points, emotion points. Like, it just, it was a mainlining. It's just straight WoW lore right into your veins. It really was great.
Yes.
And it essentially shows Uther's death. Uther the Lightbringer, who we'll talk a little bit more about here in a second. But Uther the Lightbringer, famous paladin, his death at the hands of Arthas, his soul being brought into Shadowlands, Bastion specifically, by the Kyrian. And then what happens once he gets there? And essentially what it is that they're trying to, this one paragon there called Devos, who has taken Uther under her wing, or their wing, or wings, and is trying to get them trying to get Uther to move on past this life and accept, the here and now, in the hereafter, and it won't move on. Like, why won't we move on? And then, because he has a giant stab wound in his soul from Frostmourne. It's like, oh, holy shit, what happened? Show me that. And then you see, boom, Frostmourne going into his chest, his soul potentially being ripped in two. And then, this power's from the Maw. How did that get out? People, the Kyrian leader going, nope, we're just going to turn a blind eye to that. Oh, never mind. Well, tell you what, Uther, let's go get Arthas when he dies. We'll just chuck his ass right into the Maw. And that's what they did. That was some shit. I mean, for Terran to have directed the original Fall of the Lich King cinematic, and then now to bring that same shot and that music, man, that Arthas My Son music,
yeah.
when that hits, boy, you got me every time. You could play that in the grocery store. I'm gonna start weeping right there next to the kidney beans, just like, oh, I love this song. It was so hefty emotionally to see these connections being made after Uther really hasn't been a major player since Warcraft 3. So it's been a long time for us. So just initially watching that, going through that experience, what did you think of this thing?
Oh, I was amazed, and I had to go back and rewatch it. I had to go back and rewatch it a couple times because, there was the point of impact from the sword where you see Uther's soul split. Mm-hmm. And I didn't pick up on that initially. And once I went back and I looked, I'm like, okay, so, Uther says, light save my soul. And then when Arthas stabs him, part of the thing with Shadowmourne was that the soul kept some of the soul. And if you look at, I'm going to jump around here. If you look at the runes on, which I didn't understand this, I didn't know this prior, but if you look at the runes on Shadowmourne, it's the same runes that the jailer has.
On Frostmourne or Shadowmourne?
I'm sorry, on
Frostmourne is Arthas' sword. Shadowmourne is our axe.
That's it. I'm sorry, I keep saying that's right. All right, so Frostmourne is the sword. So when Frostmourne, if you look at the runes on Frostmourne, it's the same runes that are on the jailer. So So we'll, you see Uther's soul, and then the Kyrian take him, and I kind of understood what was going on at that point because you're dealing with not Uther's light side, you're dealing with the vengeance side of him. So he's been split, similar to how Varian was split with Logosh and. The softer side of Varian.
The Anduin side.
Yeah, the Anduin side of him. So, I loved it. I love the Warbringer series. I love it when they keep doing this type of animation. I'll just go back and watch it over and over again and pick up some little nuances in the background and see things that are animated that you didn't know that were animated. And it's like, oh, that looks really good. But I was highly impressed, and I'm really excited to see, because there's I know that at some point, I'm just going to say it, there's going to be some sort of redemption storyline, because you've got, you've got...
For who?
Uther. Well, I feel like we're going to have like the gang's all back together again. You're going to have Uther, you're going to have Bolvar, you're going to have... I said this on Twitter, like, you're going to have Uther, Bolvar, Arthas, and Tyrion, all in Shadowlands now. And I'm like, is this the new Fantastic Four? Or is this the new Four Horsemen of the Light? Like, we're gonna have something come around at this point where, I kind of feel that Arthas' soul will be like, oh, I was tricked. That's how WoW writing is. So you'll see right down the road. That's how the cutscene's gonna go. Arthas is gonna be like, oh, dude, I was tricked. Sorry. So can we be friends again? And they'll be like, yeah, we're friends.
Are you saying this is gonna be another Old God expansion? Not an old God.
It's gonna be another old man expansion. It's just gonna be.
Maybe that's why we like it so much. God.
But we've yet to see Tyrion. We haven't seen Tyrion yet, but we've seen Uther, Bolvar, and Arthas so far. So, when you see Uther drop Arthas's body, and that's just the vengeance happening. And there's a split second where he's like, and then he lets go, and then I know what happens because I played through the beta enough, and I'm not going to ruin it for anybody listening right now. But there's more story to that, and he comes up again, and and not that I've done anything with that storyline. I don't know where it ends up because there's no cutscenes in the beta. There's no other storylines. Just you're going through quests, and but yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the other ones too, the Maldraxxus, Ardenweld, and Revendreth, and yeah.
So to tie the events of this cinematic kind of to other points in Warcraft, I just wanted to talk a little bit about who Uther the Lightbringer is, and kind of where these events fall in the timeline, just in terms of other things that we've seen. So, Uther was at one point the leader of the Silver Hand, which was essentially the group of paladins that they called themselves, right? And so, if you played through the Paladin class hall, you've seen a lot of this stuff. And Arthas was his protege at one point. That he was gifted in the light, and he's been taken on, and he's his teacher. And so you hear him say, he was my student. Well, yes, that was the big connection there is that Uther was the trainer of Arthas when he was a paladin.
Yeah.
Then we have the whole culling of Stratholme incident, where this plague is happening, the Scourge army is rising. We've all played through this. Uther is like, bro, we can't go in there and slaughter all these people. Like, this ain't right. Arthas is like, fuck y'all, I'm going in here. I'm just gonna go Rambo on this whole city, and he does. Well, come around to the other side of this. Arthas later comes back, right? Kills his father, kills King Tyrannus. He's now not the Lich King, he's more Death Knight Arthas at this point. That's why in this cinematic and also the Warbringers short for Sylvanas, he's not wearing the Helm of Domination. He has Frostmourne. He's been to Northrend. He got Frostmourne. He came back. But he's not the Lich King yet. He's just Death Knight Arthas at this point.
Right, yeah.
So he comes back, he kills King Tyrannus. Well, what they did with King Tyrannus' body is they cremated him, put him in this urn, and then Uther is charged with guarding the urn in Anderhall. And that's where Arthas and the Scourge army come. Arthas comes to collect that urn because now he's working with Tichondrius, and he says, we need this urn, Tichondrius does, so we can resurrect Kel'Thuzad. We got to bring Kel'Thuzad back to life.
Do we really have to?
Well,
we have to.
That's what we
have to do.
So he said, Arthas, go get this urn. So Arthas goes over there. Uther's there, and he's like, nah, you can't have this. Do you even know what this is? Well, and this is kind of one of those points where Warcraft 3 was a bit more adult, because when Arthas comes to collect those ashes, Uther says, standing his ground, saying, you can't have these. And he says, do you not realize that this urn holds the ashes of your father? And he says, quote, were you hoping to piss on them one last time before you left his kingdom to rot? Which, that's not a line you hear in World of Warcraft. So again, it's a little amped up there. And Arthas kind of, was delighted at this, and they engage in battle, and Arthas wins. And the last thing that Uther says to him is, I dearly hope there's a special place in hell waiting for you, Arthas. And then, boom, Stabola. That's when that happens. Fast forward a little bit. The Sylvanas Warbringer short, when you see her fighting in front of Quel'Thalas, it's because now Arthas has that urn. They're going up there to use the Sunwell to power up this whole resurrection deal for Kel'Thuzad. And that's why they're fighting that army, because they're coming up to Quel'Thalas to use it to res Kel'Thuzad. So that happens before the one we've seen with Sylvanas. And you'll notice some similarities with what happens when Sylvanas gets stabbed with Frostmourne and her soul comes out of her eyes and her mouth or whatever that is. The same thing happens to Uther. You see that energy coming out in a very similar way. So it's interesting to see those similarities. But that's essentially who Uther was. And then now we're coming to find out what he's been doing since. And it's a little weird because we've talked to Uther. We've communicated with Uther. We've communicated with him in Icecrown. We've communicated with him at his own tomb. We've seen him places. So it opens up a very interesting narrative into which version have we been talking to and which version are we going to be dealing with in Shadowlands? Have they merged? Now that Frostmourne is broken, his soul was released. Is that him? Is he all one now when he's chucking Arthas down into the maw? Has that reconciliation not happened? Is he still held captive somewhere? Is part of his soul in the maw? I don't know.
We get 2/3 the price of one.
Oh my. Good night, folks. That's it. 2/3. That's going to be the title of this episode. So, yeah. So we've watched this a dozen times now. Steve T-Uther, who we talked about earlier, story guy for Warcraft, even tweeted out, watch it again. The devil is in the details. So clearly there's more to see here.
Yeah.
I know we saw the soul rip. It's not lost on me at the end of the cinematic when those black tendrils are kind of like reaching up to where Uther and Devos are. So clearly some conflict there. But talking about deviating from the path, that presents some very interesting challenges. There are some write-ups on this on Icy Veins and Wowhead where they kind of explore this a little bit more. Wowhead does have a few spoilers on it, so I'd be a little bit careful when you step into that. But looking at this now, as we go forward into Shadowlands, does this feel like to you, without giving away too many spoilers, that there is going to be a secondary battle for Uther's soul? Because he seemed, as you said, pretty hesitant. Like when he's holding Arthas out there and he says, he was my student, and he's got, the kind of, the devil. It's an angel, but it's like a devil on his shoulder being like, remember what he did to you, get your vengeance. And I don't know that that decision's going to sit right with him. And it certainly doesn't feel right to me as like, this is not the high order paladin shit that I would think he would do.
No, I think eventually he'll probably be one of the raid bosses that we have to deal with, and it'll probably come to fruition
Uther.
At that point. Yeah,
As a raid boss.
I'm thinking he'll probably be like a raid boss.
Ooh.
And here's how I think the fight will go down. We'll probably be fighting like it's like, oh, we've come across Uther, and then a hero will come in and be like, Uther, fight this, blah blah blah, fight, you're good, blah 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 blah, whatever, and then we'll fight him, and then we'll probably have to get him to a certain percent, and then he snaps out of it. So like our raid fight will be like 100 to like 10%. When you get him to 10%, he snaps out of it. His NPC turns green. He's like, "Oh, you're right. I'm good." Blah blah blah. And then, it's like, and then eventually we'll march on, and that's how I envision these fights going in my head. So. We'll see what happens, but yes, I think there'll be a redemption story. It's like almost like a Darth Vader and Emperor, Palpatine moment where he'll turn against that one Kyrian, because I don't think that Kyrian bad news. I think I don't know a lot about it, but I'm just getting weird vibes from it. So. Because she's like, you gotta let go of the whole mortal side, but you know what? Fuck that guy. Let's go get him and drop him into the mall.
Never mind. There's some bad stuff happening here. Well, and what's funny about all that is Uther's example, I think, is a great one for why. All right, we're going to talk a lot about redemption stories, I feel like, for the next 2 years, because there's so many potential ones that are being teased, whether it's Sylvanas or possibly Arthas or whatever's going on with Uther. Like, there's so many, and the way that the Shadowlands is set up, where you kind of redeem yourself anyway to be part of these various covenants. It's ripe with opportunity, let's say. But I do have to wonder, with respect to Sylvanas, it pains me to say this, if there is an element to what may happen with her where I could agree with her, which is to think about it this way. Let's say you're Uther. You've just been through hell and back. You watched your friend get killed by his son, who was your student, and all hell is breaking loose. You've got the Scourge running wild. Your country's destroyed. Like, you have just failed in essentially your last mission, which was to guard this urn. That's your job, is like, I am here. Right. I am the last protector. I'm the greatest of the paladins alive. Like, this is my charge. This is my deal. And you failed. You failed. You were on your knees, hammer on the ground, stab in the chest. Like, there's no way out of that. You're in that moment, and literally 30 seconds later, you're kneeling before somebody, and they're like, "Yeah, forget about all that. We got some other job for you." Like, what? Like, I didn't volunteer for this. Like, you picked me up. Like, I didn't hail this cab. So I can see where, like, and I think I've mentioned this before, it's kind of fucked up that you die and they just part you out like cattle. They're like, well, this part's going to go over here and we're going to make some ribs. And this part's going to go over here and we're going to make some, ground. I get that that's the arbiter's job is to, this cosmos is to judge people and figure all that stuff out. But that's kind of messed up that here you are in these crazy imagine right now we're recording this podcast and boom, text 10 seconds from now, some shiny angels in front of you going, well, we need to forget about all that. You are essentially a bus driver now for the afterlife. And we need you to, pick these people up and drop them off. But, but first we have to forget about everything that just happened. Like, ooh, who, what? Like, I don't want to do that. Get me out of here. So, to an extent, I can understand somebody saying this cycle is wrong. Like, I should have a choice. Like, either I can be, dead and just like in the blackness, or I can choose, like, players are going to choose which covenant I want to be aligned with. Or how about, hey, you control my soul. Why don't you just stick me back in my body or give me another one and let me hang out back where I was? Like, apparently you have that authority. So to give some credence, if that's the way they go, I can kind of understand why that's fucked up, and you want to change that, because I would too. Listen, I'm, I don't. That's not my plan. I don't want to do that. So I get it. If that is how they go, I can get that. Now, who knows? Who knows what they're doing with Sylvana? She just doesn't want to have anyone to answer to ever in any cosmos, in any universe, and she wants to be, beyond the pantheon level of godhood. Oh, okay. Like, that's a quest. But yeah, it struck me while watching that, and Uther's like, I serve the light. And they're like, yeah, forget about that. you just gotta forget about all that. No, but seriously, like, this guy's doing bad stuff. Nah, it's cool. It's cool, man. Like, that won't happen here. Like, no. You gotta help him. So it's interesting, and the ramifications of this group going rogue, essentially, and saying we're not going to do this. This path. We're not going to follow this path. This ancient order of how things are supposed to go, and we know that there's problems. Like, there's no secret. We know that there's problems in the Shadowlands. Things have been getting out of the Maw that shouldn't have been getting out of the Maw. The Helm of Domination and Frostmourn's existence in our world has now been confirmed to not have been right at all.
Right.
Somehow, and this is the leap that we have to see, is how do those two items go from the Maw to the Burning Legion to the Frozen Throne? That's the connection that we have yet to see, at least in real time with the game. Because we know that the Burning Legion had it. This is where Nerzul's soul was entrapped in the helm. That they already had possession of that. So how the hell did they get it? That's that kind of first link in the chain of, okay, where does all this tie together? Because I still think that there's a whole other segment of how this ties into our cosmos that we haven't touched on yet. And it is that Burning Legion segment. It's that Fel segment, because there's a nexus somewhere. And we don't know what it is. But her shock. You see Devos' shock at, holy shit, you look at those runes. That's from the Maw. Like, that's not supposed to be here. Lots of questions. And I don't know if we're missing anything else, but I have a feeling that these other 3 shorts are going to wow us as well. The first one coming up next is Maldraxxus, which I think is about Draka.
Oh, cool.
If I understand this correctly, who is Thrall's mom. She is, if you don't know, a legendary kick-ass warrior. So she's going to be
awesome.
Just brutalizing fools, I'm sure. The Ardenweald short comes out on 9/10. I have no idea who that little fawn guy is. I don't know what is happening. I don't know if that's like Malfurion's long-lost love child. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what happened. Revendreth on September 17th. Maybe that's Kael Thas? I don't know. I don't know, but it seems like each one is focusing on somebody, kind of like what we've seen with the Warbringers. But they're focusing on specifically the land, the zone, and not previously where it was Sylvanas or Jaina or whatever. So that'll be interesting. Do you have a preference for any one of these remaining three? Which ones you're looking the most forward to?
I want to see the Revendreth one. I'm not big on the vampire storyline, but I mean that one sounds the most interesting out of the other ones. But we'll see, because I'm not. See, it's. I got the one that I wanted to see. You know, I got the Alliance one that I like. So
we're gonna pay for that for the rest of the expansion.
You know, it's like. Yeah, the other one, you know, we got Alliance, the next one's Horde, then whatever the one Ardenweald is, it's probably another Alliance and then another Horde one. So we'll, you know, probably go back and forth.
We'll split them in two.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be fair. Nobody plays favorites. Outside of these, though, you know what I'm waiting for. I need my Bolvar cinematics.
Yeah.
We have no confirmation. We have no knowledge. We have no anything that says that we're going to get jack shit beyond what they've already announced. But I am holding out the hope of hopes that we get a cinematic series with Bolvar like we got with Saurfang.
Okay.
They already have the model. They did it for the big cinematic, right? We saw Saurfang in the big BFA cinematic. So, you know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel to some degree. But I would love to see more of his journey told cinematically, just because it's so great to see them in that high definition. And it sounds like through Shadowlands, he's going to play somewhat of a guide for us. And so if we're able to get those kinds of snippets with him, where it's at certain beats in the story where you're like, ooh, maybe get a little more insight here about what's going on, I'm going to hold out that hope until they either tell us no or it ends up being about Nathanos, and then I'm going to throw my computer out the fucking window.
I can't get past the whole thing where Bolvar just feels like the Diablo guy. What's his name?
Tyrael,
thank you. Jesus, couldn't spit that out.
The Archangel of Justice.
Yes, I keep feeling like that's I keep getting that Diablo vibe from him. So
he is all burned
hey,
up.
I'm glad I got those wings, by the way, from I think it was Cataclysm pre-order. If you pre-order Cataclysm, you got the Diablo with it, and then you also got those wings transmog.
Yeah,
so that's cool.
Yeah, I'm still gonna hold out hope, because we did, you know, we got the good big full cinematic last time.
Yeah, I'll lose my shit when we see Varian, so it'll be good. It'll be fun. It's gonna happen.
It's kind of like with your 4 Horsemen of the Light idea.
Watch.
They're gonna be judicious about who we see, and inevitably there's going to be disappointment about who got left out.
We're gonna see everybody, or I'm gonna go to the forums.
It's gonna be like the end of Avengers. Spoiler alert. When those portals open up and I start crying. I mean, when all those dudes start coming out. Oh, I still love watching that. Oh, God bless you, Chadwick. We'll miss you. But yeah, I'm holding out hope. So hopefully we'll get some of those soon as a big surprise. But for now, we've got Meldraxus coming out on the 3rd, Ardenweald on the 10th, and Revendreth on the 17th of September. And in the meantime, if you haven't seen the Bastion cinematic yet, get out there and see the damn thing, because
go watch it a couple times.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's lore dump. It's classic WoW music. It's clearly tied into the story that we're telling. It gives you some little nuggets about, truthfully confirming what happened to Arthas. So that's wonderful, and I can't say enough about them. You know we all love them here. We're big marks for them. So if you haven't, go check it out. The last little bit of news, also kind of lore related, that we wanted to drop on you is that there have been 2 more WoW related books that have been announced. And one of them is for pre-order. I couldn't pre-order the other one just yet, but you can keep your eye out for them. The first is World of Warcraft Folk and Fairy Tales of Azeroth. This book will be coming out on April 14th of 2021, which is like 10 years from now, or at least it will feel like that. So you can get out there on Amazon. This is the one that I could pre-order already. And here's what they had to say about it. Monsters, mystery, and magic abound in this stunning illustrated collection of original fairy tales from the World of Warcraft universe, as told by an all-star cast of best-selling, award-winning storytellers, which we already know include Christy Golden and recent show guest Madeline Rue. The power of stories is felt and known in every corner of Azeroth, from the windswept fields of the Eastern Kingdoms to the bustling city of Gadgetzan. Differences were bridged by common tales of average people overcoming incredible odds. Lessons learned from cautionary tales tempered many brave heroes and brought them safely home, while stories of adventure spurred history's most remarkable actors to greatness. Now, you too can settle in, lay down your armor, and listen to the wondrous tales of adventure and peril in the folk and fairy tales of Azeroth, brimming with gorgeous artwork and 12 inspired stories crafted by fantasy's brightest authors, including Garth Nix, Catherine M. Valenti, Cami Garcia, and more. This enchanting anthology brings new voices, new meaning, and new wonder to World of Warcraft. How's that sound?
Cool.
You gonna read it?
I don't know.
That's a no.
I don't know. When I'm playing Warcraft, it's like that's one thing, but I don't know. The story has to. I don't know. I don't.
So with
folk and fairy tale, I'm like,
and somebody asked about this.
I'm not gonna shit on it, but
these are not meant to be, or doesn't sound like they're going to be like hardcore canon.
Right.
I think it's meant to be more like classic Tall Tale stuff. So
yeah,
it may be a little looser on the rules.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take it as God's truth, as they say. But already got the pre-order down, so I'll certainly have a review of that. And maybe Madeline Rue didn't hate us entirely. We could try to get her back on the show. We'll see. I don't know. She may be doing a press tour, so we'll try to get her back on the show if people want, or if she'd be willing. So we'll check that out. The other book that was announced, World of Warcraft, Grimoire of the Shadowlands and Beyond, which seems a little closer to what we're about to jump into. It is a new book authored by Blizzard historian Sean Copeland, who used to be more active on Twitter, but then just caught endless rations of shit and disappeared off of social media. And good job, fandom. You helped us out a lot.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was actually really fun to follow on Twitter because he'd have these little clarifications and little nuggets about stuff, and then people just were shitty, and off he went. So this book, as it says here, covers secrets of the Afterlives as we follow a broker into the depths of the Maw. This book will come out on July 14th, and you can pre-order it now on Amazon, it says, but I couldn't. So here's what it has to say. The Afterlives await in this sprawling compendium, lovingly crafted by the World of Warcraft game team and official Blizzard Entertainment historian Sean Copeland. What lies beneath the veil of death? Journey past this mortal coil and discover the secrets of the Afterlives. Study the practices around death and dying in Azeroth. Then follow a broker through the groves of Ardenweald, over the gleaming towers of Bastion, and into the depths of the Maw for a detailed voyage, unlike any other. Featuring gorgeous artwork never glimpsed by mortal eyes, a stunning fold-out map, well, that's kind of cool, and fresh secrets straight from the game team. Grimoire of the Shadowlands and beyond is made to be treasured for eternity. Oh. In his authorial debut, Blizzard Entertainment historian Sean Copeland opens the vaults of both World of Warcraft and his years of hidden knowledge for all curious souls. That one sounds pretty dope.
That does sound pretty good. Yeah.
I
might do that one.
I think that'd be a good one for you. It has a fold-out map.
There we go.
You're a cartographer.
Absolutely. If it's got pictures and in color, I'm good.
Comes with a box of crayons. So those are a couple of recent announcements, and check them out. You know, I always encourage people to get out there, expand your knowledge of lore. You can always read Wowpedia and these other places, and you can listen to some of the good programs out there, like our friends over at Morally Gray, covering the history of WoW and get all your insights there. But there really is something about having a book in your hand, tangible, reading it, seeing it for yourself. I'm a big believer in trying to enhance your knowledge base through those means. Plus, when you buy these books, it encourages them to write more and helps out your authors. And so, big fans of that. So, if you haven't taken a look, feel free. World of Warcraft, Folk and Fairy Tales of Azeroth, and World of Warcraft Grimoire of the Shadowlands and beyond. Both out there on Amazon, so take a look. All right. Well, I think that'll do it for this episode. Other than this fine program, where can the good people find you on the internet, Navox?
You can find me out on Twitter and Twitch. I am at NAV_OX.
As for me, you can always find me on Twitter at Berzerker Rage, and this show at Unshackled_Fury. Feel free to contact the show with your questions, comments, or otherwise at unshackledfuryshow@gmail.com. And you can find this show on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Google Play. So once again, thank you for listening. Remember to keep your swords wet and your banners high, and we'll see you next time. Farewell.